another episode of Artist to Artist. I have a very special guest today. 19 Keys is in the building with me today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you don't know about him, you're going to learn about him today. Very, very, very smart individual. I would say one of the smarter individuals that I came across in my lifetime thus far. Knows a lot about a lot. Me, I know a lot about nothing. So we're going to dive into it. Thank you for coming by, my brother.
Man, thank you for having me, man. I'm honored.
Pleasure. Well, what we have here, I tell people, it's not like a podcast. I say it's more like a conversation that needs to be had with people that I respect, admire, and love the journey and the mission that you on.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, you want to enlighten the people a little bit about who you are or what you do?
Man, I'm from Oakland, and growing up in Oakland, I seen men with power, with money, with resources. They control organizations, networks, the streets that they was around. They was able to give jobs, provide opportunities, train men. You know what I mean? They was feared, respected, all within the same conflict. So for me, I thought that was the normal until, social media traveled the world, and I realized, not everybody even want power. You know what I mean? Or most individuals ain't grow up in an environment where there's black men with some level of consciousness. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And so for me, seeing that just across the planet Earth, man, I wanted to be somebody who can bring that same sort of energy that I grew up with to the world. You feel me?
So for people that see you now on social media now, I've got familiar with you in the last few years. When did your journey start? Because people might just see you and think that this was something you might have just started embarking on, but I don't believe that's so.
Nah. I mean, actively in front of the people has been for almost 10 years now. You know what I mean? But growing up Muslim in a Muslim household, in a black militant household, I really think that, I was just raised like this. Now, making it an active choice as an adult to do this, I can probably pinpoint to when I had my last case. And behind the bar, I was reading this book. It was a nonfiction book, or it was a fiction book, rather. It was about bank robbers or something. But it helped me pass the time while I was in there. It wasn't a long bit or nothing. But I was in Ohio. They had picked me up, saying I had some charges on my name. And I remember reading it, and by the time I was done reading, I was like, man, I'm in the same situation. This ain't get me no further, just distracted me. And when they extradited me from, Ohio to Oakland in Alameda jail, and we got bailed out, my brother gave me a list of books to read, because he was a part of the case too, but he was fighting from behind the bars. And I started reading those books because he was preparing my mind for us to go to war in court. You understand me? And so these was books about, the art of deception, the art of war, the art of power, you feel me? Just understanding language, legalese, things of that nature. And I remember giving my lawyer some directions on things we can do in court. And at first, he didn't want to follow them. You know what I mean? But when he did, it actually worked. We got the motion filed. He got things taken off the case. And long story short, we end up beating the case. We got a not guilty. And I just remember, if somebody asked me this question the other day, it was more so probably a feeling of man, Allah, if you get me through this one, you understand me, then I'm going to make sure I live my life till its fullest and what I'm supposed to do, right? And so I also thought about the fact that 80% of young men, they plea out on cases or take a deal because they don't have resources of somebody that's a key that can be here, read these books. You understand me? Get your mind right, things of that nature. So I just kind of took it upon myself, you feel me? It was a reason that I beat that. It was a reason that I got my freedom again. And so I decided to become or represent 19 Keys, a thought leader globally.
Does 19 Keys have a meaning?
Yeah, I got it originally from Masterful Art of Muhammad, who in the 1900s, he had a quote that I read out of a book. And it said there's 17 million original people. He's talking about the population at the time. And he said there's 2 million Indians. And he said that represents the 19 million well-oiled keys. And he said there's 19 million well-oiled keys to unlock those rusty locked minds. You understand me? And so I took it as, when I heard it, it just stuck with me. What if I was the 19th key for our people so that they can never be oppressed or tricked by a system again? You feel me? And I remember telling my brother Amechi, I'm going to build this thing out, and it's going to be this global brand and entity and movement known as 19 Keys to the world, though. You understand me? So it started off, how can I change the world in some capacity?
How important is mental health to you?
Man, I put it like this. I got 6 brothers. You understand me? I done seen probably, I've seen a couple of them, you know, have some mental issues. You know, sometimes I done seen them come in and out of a psych ward. I got a brother that got narcolepsy. You understand me? I got brothers that got bipolar issues. You understand me? I got brothers that got different illnesses. Like, when it comes to mental health, man, especially in America, you feel me? It's everything for real. Because I think the whole war is mental. You feel me? I feel like most black men walking around with a schisma. You understand me? They walking around with a mental insecurity. They don't even know how to think clearly. So for me, it's beyond like even just mental health. It's just the capacity to think and like be free. You know what I mean? Say what you want to say. Feel fearless. Like feel 100% when you walk outside like you ready to engage the world. Man, I think that it's just about consciousness itself, having that ability to think and observe. And from that observation, you be able to orient that information and act upon it. You feel me? So I look at it as like high performance and longevity. You know what I mean? I just did my biological age test today. I'm at like 29. I'm gonna try to get it to 19. You understand me? Like for me, my brain is the most important thing on the planet. People pour money into a lot of things. I pour my money a lot into self. You know what I mean? Because if I can think clearly, I can produce anything from my mind. You feel me? So I think coming from here, I was telling you earlier, I came from Bermuda, man. I'm out there the last day. I get to touch the sand, the beach. I get to like take that goddamn anxiety off me from the world real quick and give it back to the ocean and give it back to the earth. And then I jump here in New York and we got the honking and he got the loud sounds and it's all low frequency. You feel me? So now I feel like I'm in defense mode at all times. I can't be in flow. So just dealing with the world at a high level, man, your mental health got to be impenetrable.
So in the black household, do you think that's something that we need help with?
Hell yeah.
Do you think it's just the black household?
Nah, everybody going through it. Mental health has been trendy, but it ain't been getting better. You know what I mean? Like we talk about it, but the actual practices are not getting better because we don't get to the root of it. You feel me? And so right now, like everybody going through it because the phone is the most dangerous place on earth. Mm-hmm. It's the most powerful tool, but it's also can be hella self-destructive. Because when you own that phone, there's so many agendas to keep you low. You understand me? Why? Because niggas need to sell you something. Or somebody needs you to think a certain way so that you can vote politically a certain way. Or they need to create chaos in the country. Either way, they need your mind to be in a state in which they can control it, meaning that you don't have self-awareness. So Americans, period, but also globally, wherever you got access to a phone, you getting a psyop ran on you. Somebody's manipulating the way you think. You feel me? So when I think about it just globally, man, I know it's a lot of black men and brown men in here right now with a lot of mental issues. You feel me? A lot of mental deficiency. Sometimes it comes from minerals from the body. Sometimes it comes from not having support. You understand me? Not having the community, loneliness. You feel me? I think that's the biggest epidemic of the day. Like young men don't even know how to ask out young girls for their number no more. Like it's bad. Like I was online the other day, Jim, and I seen the young kids, they on there asking the dude about looks maxing. I'm like, what's looks maxing? And looks maxing is where they asking another man how to increase their looks so they can have a better chance of having sex with girls. Getting to the point where they even do surgery. So they call that black pilling, where they feel like even if they get money and they get fit and fly, that no matter what, they're just certain men gifted and women don't want them. You feel me? And they just feel like the world is just against them and no matter what they do, it won't work. So they willing to go to extremes and they become weird as hell. So hell yeah, we living in a time where we got a whole generation ran on screens, raised on screens.
You think for the black man, financial status has a lot to do with the mental health issues?
Yeah, I think that. I think also just a lack of not having support. You know what I mean? Like most young black men go without a mentor or any sponsorship. So even when he get to that point to where he gets some finances, his family don't. You feel me? So now it's a strain on him because you looking at your personal net worth, but now when there's an emergency in the family, you got to pay for everybody else. When there's a death in the family, that's your bill. You feel me? Like there's so much stress of even when you get financially successful, you end up becoming more stressed out. Like this was supposed to put me in a position where I feel good. Now I realize I'm in a position where everybody looking at me. So it's the stress of leadership. So if you don't have a strong community, and I think what they did is we don't have neighbor networks no more. You know what I mean? Growing up, you can ask your neighbor for something. Ain't no neighbors to ask no more. So everybody got to buy everything individually.
Niggas used to could beat you. They used to be.
Man,
If my mom and my grandmother neighbor caught me doing that, they would whip my ass outside in the street.
Same, we get to go to the penny candy lady. We get to go to other people's houses. That don't exist no more. You know what I mean? You run out of a certain grocery, you got to go to the store and go get it.
These kids don't even know what Black Roll, Ring Olivia. They don't know none of the games we used to go outside and play.
Well, hold on. I don't even think I know that one. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know
what was
freeze tag, Black Roll,
free
Ring
tag,
Olivia. Games like that. All these games used to go outside and play in the middle of the park. I guess with different towns.
Flipping on mattresses.
Yeah, they had. You know, we all had different games we were playing, but these kids don't do none of that no more. They too stuck in their phone. Like all that is going. If they're not playing basketball or baseball or direct sport, they not doing anything to exert any energy outside. They're not doing nothing physical too much.
It's done for. And when you don't have a community, you don't have a social community. You know what I mean? You start doing other things to make you feel good in lack of that. Like when I left Bermuda, they had, even though they on the island, it's like 68% obesity. You know what I mean? And they was explaining to me, like after COVID, you know, it like really disrupted everybody's patterns. And now after like 10 o'clock, it's nowhere to go. So everybody just in the house eating. You know what I mean? It's not enough community and social spaces. So in lack of that, that shit is as dangerous as like smoking 15 packs of cigarettes a day. Loneliness. So everybody online, and it feels like we interconnected, but we disconnected more than ever. You feel me? We know everybody, and we watching everybody. So as we watch people, you got something I ain't got, so I ain't even happy with what I got. So you in a perpetual state of dissatisfaction without the ability to make change. You feel me? So it's a dangerous place outside. When you got a community, it reminds you of who you are. So therefore, you never feel lost.
I see something. Well, I read so I don't know if I read it or heard it. It says it was like something like we too worried about chasing applause instead of chasing our purpose. Man, how you feel about that?
I think 2 parts on that. I think it's true, but I also think nobody should chase purpose. I think you just remind yourself of who you are. You know what I mean? Because chasing purpose is telling yourself, I'm lost. I don't know who I am. I ain't got an identity. Like I think about the times where I was the most stressed out and I wanted to give up on something. And I just walked outside and I just went in my memory bank like, man, I'm me. You know what I mean? Like I'm him. I done did it before. Like I've been on God body status. You feel me? But how do you remind yourself? You got to be around people who know you. You feel me? They start telling you stories about who you are. They start reminding you back in the day, you get lost, you go to college, you come, they be like, come back on home. Come back around people who know you. That go back to that community thing. And then when you know yourself, you start thinking about your gifts, skills, and talents. You start developing that out. I think what happened is that most people don't challenge themselves enough. You understand me? And if you ain't been somewhere new, talked to somebody new, been around somebody new, trying a new endeavor, it ain't no growth in your life.
I mean, but most people are complacent because we grew up so institutionalized, what I like to call it, from being in school to having jobs, and stepping outside the box is something few people do.
100%.
So they don't really have the brain power to know how to do nothing but be in this program and be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for the most part, I mean, it shouldn't require that, but we just living in a world that's constantly changing.
We are,
you know what I'm saying?
A lot of us are not changing. So a lot of us are just stuck in it and not changing with the time.
And that's dangerous because we need to update whether we want to or not. You feel me? Like they rolling out technology where you can't tell if it's real or not. So now they got a tech where somebody can act like they're a young girl and be scamming an old man. He ain't updated on no technology. You understand me? Like, no matter who you are and where you are, if you got the ability to watch this clip, and it might still be hard for you, you have to update yourself because you're living in a world that's constantly changing, and if you're not changing with it, you're getting left behind. And so the things that you thought you was able to do before, you might not be able to afford no more. Like, you can't just be on social media scrolling because that might be a bot, you understand me, putting you in a funnel. So now you got to really stop and be hyper vigilant and observe the same way you on the streets. You got to observe the same way when you on your phone. You understand me? Same way somebody trying to manipulate you and run some game on you. Same thing happening on the phone all the time. And I think actually people from the streets and those environments are actually well trained for it. They just not using it for that reason. You understand me? And so we got to get up. When it comes to this technology, this shit about to get worse outside. The elites is about to be like a 1%, like a 0.1% class with this technology. You understand me? It's a lot of people who don't believe that the system is worth anything, and it's not. But that makes them think, then what's the reason for me to do anything? Once you get to that point, you're just ready to gamble your life away because it ain't no reason.
I tell a lot of people that there's going to be a big separation in the near future, and it's going to be just like the movies. It's only going to be the rich, and it's only going to be the poor. It's going to be a big dark cloud over the places where we live in now, and you're going to have to go up to see the sunshine, and there's going to be no in between because of all the new computers, all this digital AI, and all these type of things. Pretty soon they're going to wipe out so many jobs that it's going to look terrible out here for the landscape of the people and things like that. And I don't think a lot of people are prepared for that or how bad it's going to get. I be trying to tell people for my close friends, but it's hard to talk about things like that with people who don't want to hear it.
Yeah, you know, I think we got the illusion of choice. Like we think that we can choose to ignore it until it smack us. You feel me? And it's right there in your face, and you like, damn. It's like when a person gets sick. Now they want to know about all the vegan stuff, all the health they want to juice. Like, you could listen to that before it happened. You feel me? We hard-headed as hell, so it's that thing where I just feel like the best thing you can do right now is find your tribe. You know what I mean? Find a group of people to build and ride it out so y'all can be resilient. You understand me? If you got your tribe right now and things are changing and y'all invest in protecting each other, you understand me? Building, organizing with each other, y'all gonna be good going through it, because I think that it's gonna be breaking into all these little fractional groups. As the world get crazier outside, people gonna be looking for safety in numbers. You understand me? And so if you proactive and you start building out your community, your tribe, your group, like we building out a whole digital nation system. Because I done traveled around the planet, but I'm like, I done connected with a lot of good people, opportunity, and resources, but I can't call all of them when I need to. So we streamlining that whole process. You feel me? So now, if I got within my network 100,000 acres of land, not that I directly own, but it's people within that acre that'll let me use it, I get them to register in my digital nation. So now I can pull that up wherever we go across the planet Earth. You feel me? And I think that if you're not thinking like that or thinking about what you're a part of, you're going to be lost, because in the future, you can't win if you're alone, no matter what you got or who you are. You're going to have to be a part of something. Everybody clicking up right now.
Financial literacy. What I choose not to use financial literacy anymore. I like to say financial mastering. How important is financial mastering in the black household right now in 2025? Because I know before there was no lessons of that. The only lessons we were taught were to make money and spend money. You know what I mean? Moving forward, I've learned to make business that'll make money. But right now in 2025, with all of that's at our hand, from all the knowledge we can get off our phone, it seems like people are even going backwards and going forward when it comes to financial mastering.
Yeah. I think it's because they feel like they can take it for granted because they got access to it whenever they want to. You know what I mean? And so without the financial mastery, the economics, there's no liberation. Like, you'll never be free. You understand me? Most of it is just you organizing your life, right? Most people don't have a net worth goal. They don't understand their debt minus their assets plus they earn income. And that goes just being in order and organizing. But literacy is the ability to speak and express yourself in a given subject. You feel me? Like, I just did Bermuda's first financial literacy conference, right? So I'm able to teach them about storing their money in gold, right? Because in the black community, we don't have a lot of just common practices of wealth. If we go to the Indian community, their women hold the most gold than anybody, because it's just a cultural practice. It ain't even financial literacy. It's just a standard. You feel me? So now we can put that towards their net worth.
I'm gonna show you something.
You got some gold for me?
Not for you. But I always keep an ounce of gold on me.
Yeah, that's real money. That's called God's money.
So no matter where I'm at in this world, I'm going to get home.
Yeah.
Or they're going to send me home.
Yeah.
You heard?
Yes, sir.
So I always keep an ounce of gold.
I think every black person in the world, man, should own some gold.
100%.
You should be taking 10, 20, 30%, storing it in gold. Gold just keeps going up.
Yes.
Of course, you got Bitcoin, which is digital gold. You understand me? You got stocks, which you can dollar cost average. But I think specifically when it comes to gold, when it comes to land, when it comes to your family just sitting down and just writing out a financial plan. You know what I mean? All of these things is boring. But the thing about it is that we don't do the boring things that allow us to build wealth later.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, unfortunately, we be having to make shit sound so fly to get it to appeal to people.
And you just said
the process ain't
You
fly.
just said the most important thing. I think that's us as a whole hate to do the boring things.
100%.
That's going to advance us the most.
Yeah.
We want to skip that process and just try to get right to the advance, and it really don't happen like that. And I think
Never happen like
that's where we lack when it comes to financial mastering, is us not taking the proper steps like anyone else would to get the same things that they get.
Yeah.
And we look at these things when they get them like, damn, how can we get them? And then we still don't even want to take the
Right.
steps to get there. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's a big problem that we have in our own community and things like that, because everybody want to be rich, but nobody want to put in the work or take the proper steps to get there. That's why everybody are so complacent and cool with having a job, because they know they're going to get a check on Friday.
Yeah.
And they ain't got to do too much. You know what I mean?
Don't want to manage themselves.
But they dream about being a millionaire every Friday when they get their check, because they broke on Monday.
Shit go stay a dream. I'm not having to a dreamer, but a dream.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like this that time of execution. We got like the greatest tools on the planet Earth. You can go put that in ChatGPT and it'll give you a plan. But can you execute? That's when you start testing yourself like, damn, I'm flawed in my discipline. You know what I mean? Because I have the plan. The only thing I don't have is excuses no more. So now you afraid. People procrastinate because we afraid of the effort. You know what I mean? Instead, the most of the things you do in life is because you think about the reward more than the effort. While you're doing it, the reward keep you going, right? No matter what is, no matter how hard it's gonna be, if you can associate the reward in the front of your mind the whole time, you gonna keep doing it until it's done. You feel me? That's how great individuals think. Because the effort is gonna remind you of the pain of the process. So you like, you know what? Let me do something else that's gonna make me feel better. And so a lot of men caught up in their feelings. You feel me? And so anytime I hear somebody talking about what they feel, I feel, that's emotions. You know what I mean? If you can rise above emotions into the thinking of God, and God say be and it is, that means that whatever I think, I just do. I'm not about to be negotiating with myself, because, you understand me, I'm going to lose every time.
What you just said makes a lot of sense, but on the flip side, I be telling these people, I ain't got time to really be talking about some shit we going to do. I'm going to try me some shit.
Yeah.
The shit either going to hit or it's going to miss.
Yeah.
And if it missed, then we're going to try some other shit.
Yeah.
And if it hit, then we're going to run it
Yeah.
down the line and do everything that needs to happen
Yeah.
for that hit. And I think too many people be caught up contemplating and try to wait for the perfect moment, or always say this when there is no perfect
Ain't
moment.
no perfect moment. It's just now. The best time to execute an idea is when you get it. Because somebody else go pick it up and they go run with it.
Somebody else got the same idea at the same time you got. You heard?
And everything just moving fast right now. Like, I can tell that with you. You don't mind experimenting. You experiment, that's scientific. You experiment, you get the results. It didn't work. All right, we learn from it. We move forward. You feel me? It's a simple process in life. We just overcomplicate it. You know what I mean? I always tell people it's simple like this. You don't know what the next step, and you don't know, the next step is always learn then. Whatever you want to do, like, I'm bad at asking people for stuff. You know what I'll go do? I'll go learn how to ask people for stuff. You know, I'll sit there and watch 10 hours of TED Talks just to learn how to ask people, because I know that that's my weakness. When I was trying to learn, I sat there and learning how to learn. You understand me? Because I felt like I had a deficiency at a certain point in time. I'm sitting there trying to absorb information and it ain't clicking. You feel me? So I sat there and I started understanding my own mind. So it's like the only thing that you can truly invest in is your mind. Everything else is a byproduct of you successfully using your mind. It's really the only thing on the planet Earth. Anything that I want to do, the next step is learn. Then once you learn, you do. You understand me? And then after you do, you get to a wall like, I don't know what to do next, then go learn. You understand me? If you don't have access to that, it's very hard for that excuse now, because we got AI.
Most people don't want to use their mind because they so programmed.
But yeah, that's why you gonna sit there and
That's
just
why you
watch
don't have
nothing.
so many people successful. But in the midst of all that, those who do not have the discipline or the urge to become a boss or something that could change their life, you still can be an owner of some shit that could change your life. You can still be a worker
Yeah,
and still own some shit.
100%.
How important you think ownership is?
Man, I think ownership is everything. You know, I got a saying, slave ship or ownership. You feel me? Like, you get to choose. I think as black people, because I always say black excellence is a scam that replaced black power. Black power is about economic ownership. You understand me? It wasn't about participating. It was about owning. It was about controlling. You feel me? Like we are in a war right now where everybody is thinking about what can they own and control, right? We thinking about how can we be accepted. You understand me? Like, nah, I don't want to get a job. I want to create jobs. But if I create jobs, it's more also for your own people. How can you participate and work and earn some equity? You feel me? Because sometimes we want to own the whole thing. When you go to Elon Musk, how much does he own of Tesla? How much does he own of, you understand me, of X? We don't need to own the whole thing, but we do that because we don't feel like we enough, so we feel like we need to own the whole thing. Nah, man, give me 10% of a billion versus 100% of a million.
I say that I'd rather have 1% of something than 100% of nothing.
And that's what most people are. They feel good at saying they own this thing. So it's like you would talk with them and it's like, bro, I'll help you with it, but I'm gonna need some equity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I use my platform, I'll push it, I use my connects, but equity conversation? Nah, I wanna own it all. All right, well, own it all then. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the journey.
I totally feel like, so even with the show, like, so the people, the production team and shit like that, like, I gave everybody opportunity to get equity in the show. What you think they chose?
They chose a short-term
Smart person
money.
chose equity. You heard? Mm-hmm. So everybody here has equity in this artist-to-artist show from the production standpoint. So now now
they take ownership. Now they working for themselves.
You heard? Now if this shit happened to pop and we get to sell this motherfucker,
yeah.
You heard?
Yeah.
That small percentage turned into some big dollars.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I totally feel, but there's a lot of people that don't think like that or have the thought process like that or been around people who can show them like that's another thing. Me like
we be in survival mode too.
I didn't grow up with my pops. You heard? I mean, my mom's been around, but my mom was young. She had me as a teenager, so you can only imagine what she was doing. She was outside. She was a baby, high school. So just not having those values of a man helping me navigate was a little bit harder for me because I had to learn things on my own. And I heard you always talk about how instrumental your pops was in your life.
Yeah.
Right? So then how do we paint, how do we help a lot of these young youths out here that don't have a father or a person in their life to give them that type of guidance? It's always been something that I want to help so many because I was lost. Yeah. You know what I mean? I had to find myself by losing myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't want, and I'm watching.
I don't think they can afford to go through it. I think our generation is going to be a lot more mentally stronger to lose yourself, find yourself again. You feel me? But I don't know if this generation can afford to be lost in the current world. And so with my pops, man, I watched my pops and learn from him more than he directly, exchanged with me. You feel me? I just see how other people treat him with respect or how he dealt with other people. Because sometimes pops, and I love my pops, he'd just disappear. And I don't know where he at. He'd be gone for some months and all he'd become was a phone call. And so I would listen to advice he'd give other people, right? I would see his brotherhood that he had with his homies and how they move and they were solid with each other. You feel me? And my pops was always known as like a spook. He was somebody like you don't play with in the organization. You feel me? And I always thought like, man, that's what a man is. You feel me? That's how a man is respected. That's how a man is feared. That's how a man moves when he talk to people. Because even my pops growing up as black Muslim, we speak how we speak within a meeting, but then I see him dealing with white people and he dealing with everybody courteous and respectful. And they loving him. I'm like, that ability where he can like switch different hats. You feel me? Like I'm just observing. He ain't had to sit down and tell it to me, but that's how I am. I'm gifted with observation. So I'm just absorbing from my atmosphere. So I say that because even if you don't have your father, you got to find a figure to learn from. You know what I mean? So you'll know what a man is. Like my next journey is really teaching the youth. You know what I mean? Just the youth. I want to get to the young men and raise their consciousness. Because when I go across the planet, they be tapped in. They be interested. They be like, man, you really done raised me to be a man. Because you giving them an example. And you ain't got to be a perfect man to give an example because my pops weren't perfect.
When I tell people, I don't really, like everybody probably need help, but I don't really care about helping adults. Not to be so cold.
No, I feel you.
You understand? But as an adult, we all had a chance to figure things out.
Yeah.
to make a success out of ourselves or whatever they may be. But as a kid, they don't have that chance. They still young, so I'd rather help them have a more fighting chance than me trying to help a grown person trying to find themselves after losing.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's doesn't take away from me from helping so many people and so many grown people.
I understand exactly.
In my mind, like moving forward, that's what I'm on. Like I want to help the kids.
I think everybody should be on that type of time. I mean, again, you're a good-hearted person by nature. You're going to help people. You understand me?
Yes.
In general.
I don't want nobody to think I'm cold like that, but you heard what he said, like a good heart, you're going to help people. But when you directly focusing on something, I want to directly focus on them kids like you're saying.
Like when you was with Kai and you intentionally, let me make sure I lead them with some guidance. Like that's what I respect, because I feel like everybody in their mind should be intentional. This is a generation with a lot of power. You understand me? A lot of opportunity in front of them. And they are gifted. They are talented. But no matter what, they're going to need guidance. And they're going to need guidance from experience and wisdom. It's a pecking order. It's knowledge, wisdom, then understanding, right? And as a young person, you ain't going to have that understanding yet until you go through some life. So you have to get that guidance, because our community was always an oral history to where the elders pass it down through the youth by talking to them. We had barbershops. Barbershop were spaces of intellect to where you can learn politics, you learn community, you learn how men think about other men, about women, how they speak to each other. You understand me? It was dialogue, not gossip. They was ciphering, they was building. You feel me? They was getting real knowledge. Then back in the day, if we take it further, they used to have coffee shops. Coffee shops were spaces of intellect where they would share, gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as well. What happened is we destroyed all of the spaces. It became social media. You feel me? So now when you get the opportunity to be in front of a youth, you got to give them game. You got to give them some guidance on life. Whether they want to hear it or not, they going to listen. And when they hit rock bottom or they in need of some guidance, you going to remember, damn, what bro say? How I'm supposed to move in this type of situation? Because that's what they missing. They don't know how to move in different situations. How do we talk to women? How do we handle money? How do I handle myself as a man? What happens when I feel fear? You understand me? How do I shake another man's hand? You understand me? When I'm dealing with people who not of my kind? You understand me? How do I walk in that room confident, knowing I still got value? You right? How do I develop a level of consciousness as people go try to play with me? You feel me? How do I go through a loss and then jump back and remind myself of who I am and be like, it's okay? How do I talk myself through that? How do I talk myself off the ledge? You feel me? Like that inner voice, when you hear a real man and you watch a real man, you emulate that. So wherever you missing, that's where that example will start fitting in for you. Like, man, I would have never known how to do, but I seen how Jim moved in this situation. That's how I'm gonna move. Then when you get experience, you can start tweaking it. Like, all right, this is actually how I like to move in this situation. And then you start to become your own man.
You made a whole lot of sense. A whole lot of sense.
I'll be trying to.
That's what that's what the youth needs, is more conversations to be heard like this.
Yeah.
Like more people, like you said, to be talking to them like this. Because I ain't had that conversation coming up. It was just me out on the street, moving and grooving and trying to figure it out every day, and until I ran into a brick wall and you try to figure it out a whole different way. So moving forward, I've been telling myself, when I go, I want people to know that I gave more than I took, because I'm a taker and I'm still taking. You know what I mean? And with that being said, that should give me enough to keep giving and things like that and keep the wheel turning. But me as a man, like we was talking about father, so me looking back now and moving and becoming a grown man and have a son, it's like I've been trying to do everything that my father couldn't do for me. But subconsciously, when I'm moving, I'm hoping my son is watching my movements, not just who I am as a man. Like you said, watching me get up every day, going to work, watching me take care of the family, watching me paying the bills, watching me going to the gym, all these things. I hope he's watching and observing and soaking up, because I tell him, I got him here working in the building. Like everything that I'm showing you is for me to. I pray that if anything were to happen to me, or if I can't do it, I'm depending on you to move how we move and things like that. And I was telling him yesterday, so we got separated while we was in the concert and shit like that. He was like, "You could get ahead." And I was telling him, like, you'll never see Farrakhan's son move without Farrakhan.
Yeah.
You know, tell you that story later and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like certain things I be trying to show him without, you know. But you understand what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
When I told him that and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, that's like, you can say what you want to your son, but he go just watch you. You know what I mean? Your words are always your action to a young man, because that's how we learn, we observe. You feel me? We want to become our fathers, right? Naturally, instinctively as young men. That's why when we grow up in a household where you just have your mother raising you, sometimes she might talk about men a certain way and you might internalize that as your own emotion, right? Not realizing that's not the way I think, that's the way my mom's felt, right? That's why it's dangerous for have a mother who talks about men in a negative way, right? Because you don't know if that's your thoughts or hers, right? Then you start to emotionalize the world like your mother instead of like a man. So if you have a character in your life as a man that's outside, then you see the opposite, like, wait, that's how my mom would handle it. That's how a man handle it. Now I know the difference, right? But sometimes young men grow up so much with their mother, they think that's how you supposed to handle it. So they become more of a strong woman than a man. You understand me?
I totally agree, but I grew up with my mom's was different.
Well, I'm not saying that
But no,
everybody.
listen,
sure.
listen. So my mom's was different, but it still has a fucked up effect.
Yeah.
So as a mother raising a child inside the middle of the craziest neighborhoods in New York City is like, she teaching me violence off top. Somebody play with you, you get with them. You can't beat them, you pick some up, you get with them. But I don't have a father, so she's trying to be
Right. She's trying to make up for that
father,
lack.
and a lot of them things wasn't the way that wasn't what I
Right.
should have been taught.
Right.
But
Pops probably would have told you, but in a different way. But she had to throw the extra on top of it.
because I'm her baby boy and she don't want nothing to happen, so she's trying to tell me the remedy that she think is right for me to win all my battles while I'm growing up in these streets, coming as a man. And it was just like, and a lot of that was that with her. Like, all the lessons were very aggressive and very harsh because she's trying to take the place of me not having a father when she's talking to me and shit like that. So it was like, I was blessed to be able to escape a lot of things that could have bring me down from a lot of the lessons I was taught to protect myself and shit like that. So
I heard from Minister Farrakhan, he say, a father is one who raises you, meaning that anybody can be a father. Anytime you step into a young man's life and you raise them up mentally, spiritually, right, you are fathering them, right? In Africa, you call each other Babas. You get to a certain age, you Baba. I'll be Baba Keys, you know what I mean? You Baba Jones, right? You just naturally become father, because in the community, every man is supposed to set an example and raise the youth. You feel me? And that's what we've forgotten. It's like, even in the Holy Quran, like, your uncle is almost equal to your father.
100%.
You understand me? It's like, anytime you have an example of a man around you, all those men are supposed to be examples as if they are your father. Because you're just an example of a man, how a man moves, thinks, feels, behaves. He know the proper handling of people, communication, all those things. But for me growing up, it was like, more so it was my older brother that was teaching me things. He'd be the one giving me the game. You understand me? Now, he'd give me good game and bad game, because he wanted me to go dark side. You feel me? And so I learned discernment. I learned to take the good with the bad. We call it settling on the best part. You feel me? I can't take everything. So he'd teach me about women. I had to unlearn some things, but he gave me the confidence. You know what I'm talking about?
I had a couple of uncles that I looked up to as a father figure. So yeah, it was a few things I had to unlearn.
Yeah.
But those people in my life that helped me navigate to be that much of a better of a person or grow into a young man and things like that. I'm grateful for the few people that I did
For sure.
come across in my life that was able to instill some greatness in me. Stopping to women, right? Okay, I don't want to talk about nobody, but I want to talk about the temperature of. I don't want to get crucified.
You gotta say what you gonna say, man. You ain't never held your tongue when it came to this subject.
But are women not handling themselves as responsible as they once did when we were coming up? And no matter if they were a baddie, you dig, like there was a little bit of a more, if you could understand what I'm saying, like, and I'm just watching the generation and how it's just like, yo, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's so many beautiful black women out there, and some of them have jobs, successful, and things like that. But what you're seeing is wild out there. And I'm not painting the kettle black because I'm outside every day.
Yeah.
But as a man that's older and been through so many genres and watching how things change to where it's at now, it's like, for a man to find value in a woman right now, it's hard to see through all the superficial shit that's going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they take that into consideration when men are trying to court women nowadays, because it's so crazy out here. And not putting on either or, but I'm just saying, like, for us, because you were telling me, you just said that these kids don't even know how to talk to women nowadays.
I heard that from the women themselves. They're mad that they're not getting approached when they go out. Like, men will look at them, the young men will look at them, but not talk to them. So now they pissed off because this generation ain't hollering at them at all. They talk about Riz, but they ain't got no real game. And what happened is we got rid of shame, right? Shame come when you got a proper community, you gonna get shamed for doing things, right? You bring shame on your parents, you get shame on your church, your mosque, you bring shame on people because you are part of a community and your reputation spreads, right? And so you don't really want to walk around with bad character, right? Because you know those actions that you commit to is gonna fall back on you. Right now, ain't no community, so ain't no shame. You understand me? So therefore, they go do the thing that for the algorithm. They ain't even doing it for men. They doing it for the algorithm.
They doing it for the ladies are doing it for the ladies.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They say
they performing for the ladies.
You can't judge a book by its cover, right? But if every book looks the same,
yeah, you go get judged for your cover. You know what I mean? Or your lack of covering. You understand me? And so we at this point in time where you had where women were trying to go so progressive, right? That they went off the far end. And men was trying to be more conservative. Like, we still want a woman of values, right? Meaning that I don't care what your net worth value is. I care what your actual values are, right? So therefore, it don't matter if you got you a nice car. It don't matter if you got money, because you're not about to take care of me. So that don't matter. And then you became so masculine to get your money that there's no femininity in you for me to attract, right? Because at the end of the day, when we at home, I'm just gonna want some peace. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna care how many followers you got. I don't care how many bags you got. None of that matters to me. You feel me? And so I think that this generation of women want 1% of men, or they want an idea of a man that don't even exist. So they ignoring all the ordinary men. Then the ordinary man is looking like, damn, y'all get online and start talking about how you want a man, you know what I mean, that only exists in the 1% tax bracket, and the rest of us is supposed to act like that's normal. You feel me? So I'm telling them, like, y'all need to go date truckers and plumbers. You understand me? But everybody want to date a rapper or a ball player or a streamer now. You feel me? That's still the 0.1%. They don't exist. The man you want don't exist is what I'm saying.
It's what you said about masculinity, and I'm not mad about women that hustle hard and take a masculine approach to getting their money. But when you carry that same attitude on into the relationship or to the playing field, then it becomes a turnoff for a man dealing with a woman who's so masculine when I'm supposed to be the man, and then that becomes it's like you battling the feeling about who's wearing the pants or who's the strongest piece in the puzzle. It's just a lot going on.
I think they're starting to learn a little bit. I'm starting to see where they realize that men are not attracted to that, and they lonely. So they got money, they got a nice house now, they got a nice car, but they lonely. And they realize, like, why did I get it for? To be by myself, right? Now they having brunches and teas and doing charcuterie board parties and all of that. And they by themselves. And the only thing that's keeping them comfort is their goals. You feel me? They ambition, but that's very masculine, that's very capitalistic. And now on the flip side, the men are getting angry. Some of them don't know how to talk to a woman, so they pissed off by that. Because if they really realize that a woman gonna want you regardless. You understand me? If you know how to step out there and be yourself, you feel me? You can step out there bummy in a white T-shirt and you still go get her.
Let's not, because I don't want to get crucified. So let's just put it out there that men have drove women to this place.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of us have drove women to this place of them being their own person. The masculine approach comes to them making money and fending for themselves and taking care of themselves because of a lot of things that men have done leading up to this point.
I mean, it goes deep into that when we talking about same thing that, like, we got to look at it like this. You have the elites, the power class, then you have the people. And you got Wall Street, you got Main Street. So there was a psyop ran on everybody. The women were put in the workforce so they can pay taxes, you understand me? And you got more labor, and then you got more consumers, right? So they used a lot of their movements that were rightful because a lot of women weren't getting rights, of course, but they used a lot of that against them to take them out the household and divide the people, right? Because when you got strong families, you got a strong nation. It's hard to manipulate those people because they got bonds. You understand me? And so when we look at what's been done historically in this country, psychologically, the women have been manipulated out the household, out of respecting men, out of those values. And so when you create poverty in a situation and those women stressed out, they go do what they got to do. You understand me? They go to college. They go get the degrees. You understand me? They go talk about being pro-woman and excellence and things of that nature, right? But you got to look at the root and what that history is connected to. Now we look at what the solution is. We all know the solution on this planet Earth is men and women getting along. In the black community, we know that it's black women and black men getting along. In the Latino community and the Asian, no matter what community you go across, why? Because it always gets back to family and community, right? No matter who you are and what you have, you want a group of people that love you, that support you, that you can contribute. You want to look at your son or your daughter and you see a reflection of your legacy. That's going to bring you more joy and more peace than anything you could buy. You understand me? But they got people disconnected from them conservative values, right? And they tricked you out the home. Now you're trying to get back into it. You feel me? But now a lot of men are looking at them like, I don't want you though. And you like, but I've accomplished so much, right? But so now you got an ego, right? And so I'm not just putting it on women. We just talking about women. You feel me? Because it's a lot of the men that's not stepping up and just being masculine. Like there's a level of masculinity you gotta have.
It's definitely
that's different.
We are a lack of masculine men right now. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know what's in the water, but it seems to be a lack of that. And for that, I don't blame the women for how they feel towards certain situations. But I can't say this, so we get out of here. I would say that we have to figure out how we get back to that medium, because I'm not mad at women getting $1 and taking a strong approach to doing so. But realize that there are men out here that's still trying to court you. Mm-hmm. And chivalry might not be as the thing as it once was, but there are still men that do chivalry with not even knowing that that's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think that what y'all grinding so hard, it takes away the opportunity for men to really get to know a great woman when you're taking this masculine approach and things like that. And I'm not no Dr. Phil or nothing. I'm just telling y'all from what I've seen, because I love to see people getting together, having fun. It don't seems like a lot of that from this generation is going on. Like, we're a little bit older, so it's played a little bit different before what's going on right now.
And we just online too much, man, because you got to get back outside. Outside, men and women be getting along. Online, we don't get along. Online is just cats and dogs.
Online is a hell of a place.
You understand me? It's dangerous.
And when you go outside, it's a total opposite of what's actually going on. So, I go viral all the time in the news. But when I go outside, the things in the comments that I see on social media are not reflecting from the love that I'm actually getting on the pavement everywhere that I go. Yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes I got to realize that, like, bro, don't get caught up in these phones and go into La La Land and get tricked out of a lot of shit that's not really real and shit like that. Because obviously you can see there's nobody missing a beat when you are outside and shit like that.
Hate can be monetized so it's profitable. So people hate for a living. Bro. You understand me? In real life, they'll love you, but they'll hate you because that's their occupation. Bro, it's job security.
The hate check is crazy. The haters are getting paid.
Man, they getting paid on X, on YouTube. They'll make a whole video. They'll love you. Be sitting there researching you, but I gotta make this video.
A whole live, make a whole video up about you. This is a crazy.
Meet you in person, take a picture. You know what I mean? The greatest fan. Whole time they just made a faceless video about your downfall. But they thanking you because you just paid their rent.
Let's talk about music.
Yeah.
Who's some of your favorite artists?
Man. I just dropped the album. Yeah, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you, my brother. Here you go. You tap that on the phone while you got the screen closed and you'll be able to create an account. So don't unlock the phone. Just put it at the top.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get these. Whatever this is, we need this right here.
Shout out to Eternal, man. And I work with 2 platforms behind the scenes, Eternal and Unreleased. So each one is pegged to each physical. But that particular one gives you access to an unreleased album, but then once you're in the system, we give you access to more unreleased music, content, events, etc. Right? So we wanted to have something that's like a phygital, so it's physical and digital.
This is dope.
So that could be, your ticket to an event. If I'm like, everybody that got one of them, y'all can pull up, we just scan that, and then you get access.
So this feels like a physical NFT.
That's exactly.
With a bunch of utilities attached to it. If y'all know what NFTs and utilities are, let's get into a little bit of that. Since when I first met Keys, he was working on a financial platform. You want to explain to them exactly what that was?
So at that time, I was working with some individuals. It was going good until it wasn't going good.
Right.
You feel me? And so I started working with my brothers over there at EYL. And we now traveling around the world teaching financial literacy and financial consciousness. Because for me, I'm always going to give you more than just the financial literacy. You feel me? You go get coach, you go get consciousness, you go get masculinity, you go get spirituality. I'm going to come as the full package. You feel me? And so the reason we started that, though, is because I was always saying that business is warfare. You understand me? Like, business is literally warfare, right? When I grew up, I used to hear all the stories of rappers getting played out their masters, about this, that, and the third. And I was like, it's really because we don't understand the business. We don't understand the legalese, and the people who do, they're masters at it, right? And so we're coming into a game that we don't understand, and we're talent. And that talent is controlled the same way they've done historically. I came from Bermuda, and they was giving a breakdown of how it was this young girl who was a runaway, and there was a paper, and this paper was describing her to a T. Like, it was describing her the way she laughed, the way she talked, right? The way her jaw moves. Like, it was like somebody had to really study her, right? And see all of her humanity, you feel me, in order to write this. They ain't write it like they was looking for a slave. They was looking for a pure, like, joyful human being. And it just started me thinking, like, they didn't enslave you because they didn't see your humanity. You understand me? No, they enslaved you because they did, and they wanted to bottle it up. Right? And instead, knowing that they couldn't do the same thing, they could never be the talent, let me just create a system to where I can control the magic at all times. Right? And so for me, financial literacy breaks the spells because now we see the game. We see it clearly. Right? Why do I need you to be my landlord if I understand ownership? If I understand real estate? Right? If I understand how to go get me a building myself? Right? Why do I need to bang with you if I start learning decentralization? Right? It start giving us the options to choose to do for self. Why if I want to get somebody to stop eating a certain fast food chain, I can go and tell you what not to eat, or I can just teach you about healthy practices, what's going on with your body, why you ain't got enough energy. So now, just by educating you, it's the most radical thing on the planet because I've elevated your choices. I've elevated your taste level in life. You feel me?
You want to tell them what decentralization means?
Decentralization is when there's not one central owner. Like, let's say you go to the banks and there's a CEO that controls that. Like Jamie Dimon he's a CEO of Chase, right? That means that there's a central figure that controls everything, and it's top down. It's like a pyramid. When it's decentralized, there's no one particular owner. So like on blockchain, you have what they call nodes, and basically it fills up where there's data and information that's linked from one chain to another and another and another and another. Y'all can put this on ChatGPT if you want a better explanation. But it's essentially decentralized where nobody owns it, so nobody can shut it down, right? Nobody can say this transaction can't go through, right? If we doing business, there's just an automated process that happens on the back end. Yep. So I ain't got to trust you. I just got to trust the technology works.
Yes.
So I think the music industry eventually is going to be decentralized, right? Because ownership is harder to keep when people have the technology themselves. I can write me an app and just vibe code, meaning that without actually having to know how to code, I could just use AI and describe my idea, and now the AI will create the code. It will create the website. So when it gets to the point where you can create your own Spotify, what would be the point of using it if I'm an artist that can get 10 million people, right, to give me, you understand me, $100 a year? You feel me? I'm good. Otherwise, I can go to Spotify, I can go get my 0.001 cent on the stream because I'm probably going to make me 6 figures off that already. I've been selling it to my community. They've been giving me up between, $44 to $300, right? Because I'm just going straight to my core base. So it's like what they do is on these platforms is that they give you permission to use their platform while you give them all the value, right? And so social media, we all sign a 360 deal, and they say, well, you can go leverage it because you can go fill up venues, right? You can go have your own concerts, but you ain't gonna be able to directly monetize off this content. Basically, that's our IP. That's how we eat off the advertisement. But I think that model is dead because the creator can't afford their bills no more. So the creators are looking for independent models, decentralized models, to be able to figure out how do I go direct to source. So I can have me an album out and never market it to the world, but I market it to my community. You feel me? And I got direct line of communication to them. And then I can travel around the planet Earth. And I don't need everybody to show up. I just need my core base. Average artists ain't making 6 figures on the planet. You understand me? So it's gonna be harder, you understand me, to get a million streams, or would you want 1,000 core fans that's paying you $100 a year?
1,000 core fans.
Yeah, you making at least 100,000. That's a living.
Community is everything because you could funnel everything to community. T-shirts, mugs, cups,
Yeah.
jump ropes, whatever it is that you have for sale in your community, they're going to definitely buy whatever you have to offer. I mean, and that's a great standpoint for what people need to know, especially for artists moving forward. And these are the things I try to do as far as even with this building and creating these shows, everything I've been trying to do solely independent, so I ain't got to lean on nobody. You know?
Yeah.
It does come to that. It's them coming to me at the business table and things that be done on my terms and shit like that, which would be more beneficial towards the business I'm doing and things like that. We need to, but I can say this: a lot of major artists have been finishing a major deals and taking the independent route that I've been seeing lately, or finding ways to get out their major deals so they can become an independent artist, and seeing the freedom in that and how to make some real money if you're a small artist. It don't work for everybody because a lot of these people are lazy. I mean, and just because you have your independence doesn't mean that you're going to get the money. There's a shitload of work that has to be put in from an artist standpoint. Remember, you just left a label, so you don't know how many people was working behind the scenes for you to make you that successful artist. So you got to take that into consideration to figure out what things you're going to need to take with you when you become an independent artist. What's going to make you know what I mean? And that's one of the so I started independent. So I learned these are things that I didn't have. I learned it as I went. For most artists now, doing the flip side, I just hope that they get the power that they have. You know what I mean? You're the whole power now. You're the main source. You got to spread it around and make that machine work for you.
But as I do, since you did say music, like I got a song my brother Lareezy on there. He out from New Orleans. You know what I mean? He been killing it lately. I got some with my brother Bashir. You know, I like my brother AJ McQueen. You feel me? I was just with D Smoke yesterday. He got some nice rhythms. You feel me? Joey Badass.
Joey,
I like
Joey. I be going a couple restaurants with Joey. He be knowing all the good spots.
Yeah. Joey fly with it, man.
Yeah.
I was working on the album when my brother Rans 1500. You understand me? Shout out to my brother Steve. He just dropped out. Just because I know you asked me about music, they gonna be like, man, you could have brought the music up.
Shout it out.
You feel me?
That's what we talk about. The music is everything.
Who got something right now you listening to? I know a lot of people just dropped this year.
I mean, I listen
Shout out
to
to
my music.
LaRussell.
I listen to my music different. I listen to music on the radio and listen to music in the club.
Would you be listening to just rap or like old school?
I don't purposely listen to old school, but when it's on, I totally enjoy it. On Sundays, I go to my mom's house. She does like soulful Sundays every Sunday. Whenever we go over there, she has the DJ and all, and the DJ's always playing like old music, and the old music does something to you, something to your mind and things like that. I'm really a fan of that, but I don't dive directly. I'm not really. It's crazy as think about it. I don't even listen to music in my car like that. Like I be driving with no music on. I'm a bug out like that. Music takes away too much, takes too much space in my brain when I need shit to think about because I got shit I gotta do. I get in here and start rapping everybody's song while I'm taking this half an hour drive, and when I could have thought about some shit that I need to get done, and when I get there, we gonna get the, you know what I mean? Like it's so much shit going on in my brain. Like I think I'm weird a little bit. I would say that.
No, I think that's capacity because I do that sometime where I'll be with the team and we just driving in silence, but they know I need to think because it's hard to get those hours to think. Like I gotta really plan out when do I have time to think, right? I know I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be doing this. I might get 2 hours to think today. You understand me? Just because I'm gonna have some silent time.
Bro, I got in at 5:45 last night, I believe, or 6 o'clock. I laid down for like 15 minutes. I popped back up because I knew I had to think about some shit. I had to pop back up and go downstairs and sit down and try to get before I went to real sleep. Yo, because if I don't do it now, I ain't gonna have no chance to think
nothing
tomorrow,
at all.
I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think people understand how important that is to take time out.
I'll be planning my thinking spots, man.
That's meditation for the simple people. Like, thinking is no different than meditation, but it's so hard to get that time out to really meditate or give your mind that time to think and shit like that. That's why like people wake up at 5 in the morning and they start their day off with that for 45 minutes because that's before
I start my day off with meditation now because I started to feel anxiety, and I ain't an anxiety type person. You feel me? So I just felt like my flow of my day was off, and I just set it up like a chain of events to where no matter what's going on in life, I don't care if it's 5 minutes. It could be 1 minute. I'm going to do the meditation every single day, no excuses. And because the benefits don't happen immediately, they happen over time. And it gives me some consistency. But it also, I get to think about what I want the day to be. And then at the end of the day, I do my last minute download of just being grateful and think about how I wanted the day to go, regardless of how it went. So now I'm not going to sleep off a negative thought. I'm going to sleep off a positive one so I can wake up the next day on that thought. You feel me? But thinking is a deliberate act, and what most people are doing is just reacting. They're not really thinking. Like when you're on social media scrolling, you're not thinking. The feed is thinking for you. It's feeding you your thoughts, or other people's thoughts rather. So now when you're speaking on a subject, that's not what you think, because you never really took no time to really think about it. You feel me? And so I really like treat cognition, the act of thinking, like an asset. You feel me? Like I gotta really invest in it. Like my team know, like, they hit me, do you have the capacity right now? You feel me? Because if I don't have the capacity, I'm not going to be good for whatever decision you're trying to get me to make anyway, right? So I think more importantly, as we go into an intelligent age where we got AI, right, you as a human being being able to think, then program the machine is key. Otherwise, when you don't think, you going to ask the machine, so it start thinking for you. Now it's controlling you. Now you got so used to it doing things for you, you can't even write out a caption no more because you don't know how to think. You feel me? And so it's a dangerous thing to where you start losing that muscle.
Since I had navigation in my car, I don't know how to get nowhere.
Can't get nowhere.
You know what I mean? Like if they take the navigation right now,
everybody
all the places
lost.
I used to go in my 20s when there was no navigation in the car, just going there, I don't know how to get there.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the brain is good at like mapping out a full location. Like it remembers things, but when you don't use it no more, it doors out. It's like a muscle. You don't work out, now it's atrophy. You understand? I mean, it gets weak when you don't use it. So it's like thinking itself. Like I got a brand called Supermind Labs, but it's a mushroom coffee, and it's specifically to boost the brain. It's like lion's mane and cordyceps. Both of them help with like brain performance. So that's the first thing I take every morning. I need my mushroom coffee because I'm getting up in age. So I want my brain to still stay young forever. You understand? I mean, like I want my brain to be young forever. And most people, you train as an athlete, you think about training your body, but your brain needs to be trained as well. Then you got to train your gut because your gut is one of your brains as well. So when your gut is in a bad mood and what's going on here, you in a bad mood, period. You around people and you don't realize because it's what you ate. Your body is starved right now, even though you've been eating. So now you around people and you grumpy as hell because you have neurons in your gut. Then you got your heart. You feel me? And so when all them things in unalignment, you trying to figure out what's going on with you. And it's really just from what you eating. You ain't had time to process thoughts. It's kind of like not processing grief. And you ask somebody about somebody who done died and you ain't even think about it, but you almost tear up because you realize I never even grieved. You feel me? It's the same thing with thoughts. They just pile up, they there. And they waiting for you to process them and do some deep work where you don't have no distractions, right? Like if you can take your phone away and you can get into some deep work for 3 hours with no distractions, your brain starts flowing. Then when you're talking with people, you know what you're talking about, right? You actually start synthesizing things. You start thinking about the world, like what do I really want to do? Silence, darkness, and stillness is the key to life, right? You want to reset your life? Silence, darkness, and stillness. You feel me? That's it. That's the womb. Get away from the world, go and sit still. 22 minutes of stillness, man, start resetting your cognition. You know what I mean? You in silence, you start hearing yourself. That voice inside your brain turns on, it gets louder. So now when you're around people, it's telling you what to do, what to say. When that voice is drowned out, all you hear is other people. You don't hear your own thoughts. You understand me? And so it gives you that level of control again. So everybody got to take some time, especially in New York concrete jungle, man. I don't know how y'all do it, because scientifically, like a bus sound, you understand me, and horns, that's considered low frequency, right? High frequency sounds are stuff that program the brain to be in flow. Low frequency sounds in environments to where they can pass through the air at long distances. High frequency can go through long distance. Most of the time what you're hearing when you in the public is all low frequency.
But
you're not hearing no nature.
let me tell you this. Them low frequency sounds help us make high frequency music.
Explain that.
You hear the bus. You think about how many times you've been on the bus. You walk by the train station.
Okay,
you think
yes,
about
sir.
everything that had to do with the train station. You walk. Every sound that you think is a low vibration turns into a high vibration for some of us. You know what I mean? Some of those sounds, we take that like, oh, I don't want to be in this train station no more. That's
Yeah,
inspiration to get
yeah.
away from the train. Oh, I'm done with it. You understand? Some of these sounds inspire you to try to do better than what you're hearing. Oh, I'm on a train, I need to get a car. Or you understand? So it's all
No,
how you, but I understand totally what you mean. But I had
like
to
that.
take them low vibrations and turn
Yeah.
them into something that I could deal with. Just
That's
like I turned all my,
transmutation.
what you call that?
Transmutation.
Transmutation.
Yeah, you taking a low frequency and you converting it to something high vibrational.
Yes.
Right? Like that's what we do. Like melanin, we got brown skin. What it does when the sun is violent, you understand me? It's hot. That's radiation. Our melanin is able to absorb that and then convert that into good energy. You understand me? So we literally are people that takes things that might be dangerous to other people. It might be traumatic to other people, but we energized by it. We resilient. You understand me? And so that's how, New Yorkers, they be moving. Y'all got energy. Y'all want to get busy because you in this constant state of discomfort. So we got to keep it moving. Like if you was in the sounds of nature, like in the island, it gets to a point sometimes people get comfort corrupt because it feels so good around you. You don't feel like you need to do nothing. In New York, you don't get that. You got to get busy with it.
You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If
100%.
if you're not that, then you're not going to last here.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Because there's no comfortability here from that standpoint. No matter if you got money or not. Still dealing with New York as a whole, as a city, if you got to touch that concrete, there's no comfortability for nobody.
And my only thing is have a little harmony. Like when I was in Bermuda, again, I looked up, I could see all the stars in the sky. You know what I mean? We take it for granted. Like they take it for granted out there. They're like, damn, I ain't even realized like we get a full view of the universe.
We don't see shit.
We see
We
lights.
don't see no stars in New York City.
Yeah, we think celebrities are stars. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only ones we get to see. You know what I'm saying? I get to see your chains. You understand me? They shining. But I don't get to look up and think about the universe because you got to imagine if you looking up and you start thinking.
So what the percentage is? 97% of the people I grew up with would not get a chance to be able to see them stars in the sky somewhere else besides where they grew up at.
Man, you got to just take a little money and travel. Your bottle money is travel money too.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? The section in the club is still travel money. You can go get a section in the club somewhere else that got stars. You understand me? Like we don't have stars up, so we put the stars on the roof. Like we still want to be connected. You know what I mean? I got the sun, moon, and stars on the hat. I got to remind myself I'm in the universe because all ancient black people, brown people, they built everything with the universe. They built every pyramid in alignment with the universe. They understood you couldn't build the first civilization unless you understand the universe. If they didn't know the time and the cycles, then they wouldn't know how to feed the people for agriculture. You understand me? So the universe and having that connection to it always gave us harmony and alignment. Right now, we just trying to stay balanced, but balance is tension between 2 points. So you in this constant state of tension. But when you in harmony, you know how to flow. It's like, you in a relationship with a woman and you know how to sync with her period. You understand me? Oh, she on her period right now. That's why she talking to me like that. You understand me? And so you give some grace. That's harmony. You feel me? As a man, we got different cycles throughout the day where our testosterone is lower and higher. Testosterone lower, you don't want to deal with things, which is later throughout the day. So now if your woman coming to you with a problem, you understand me, late night, your threshold to be able to deal with problems is lower. You feel me? And so it's like, holler at me in the morning about something or in the afternoon when like I'm actually ready to deal with things. That level of self-awareness and understanding is harmony. You feel me? but we are locked out of the seasons. We know more about the news cycle than the cosmic cycle that we living in. So as original people, no matter where we come from, the streets, no matter where we come from, we're still gonna yearn to be connected to the universe. You understand me? There's still something real inside us. You feel me? We gonna still put on the elements of the planet Earth. You understand me? Whether it's the diamonds, whether it's the gold, you feel me? Whether it's the platinum, those are elements that we putting on. We putting on Earth. We just don't think of it like that because once we turn it into a jewel, it shines, right? And we practice alchemy and putting into whatever image we want to. But it's still just us connecting to, you know what I mean, the elements.
I wanted people that on my platform, people that follow me, to really hear you speak, because you speak from a very knowledgeable standpoint, a scientific standpoint. Your opinions are almost like truths. You know what I mean? I want people to hear that coming from a black man like yourself. We don't have too many people to look to for knowledge. You know what I mean? Something tangible we could take from it and make something out of it and things like that. I think you're one of the few people that we have right now in our generation that's doing that for us. You know what I mean? We've seen so many of our leaders before us, but right now, it's hard to look at a person and be like, this is what I think of you in the light of a Malcolm X or in the light of Dr. Martin Luther King. But this is who you put me in mind of when I see you outside, your mannerisms, the way you talk, the way you handle yourself, the way you handle your community, the way you move with your people. Like, it gives off all that aura, and I'm appreciative for that. You know what I mean? So
likewise.
When they told me, yo, 19 want to come, I said, hell yeah, because I know that the conversation was going to be a conversation people could take a lot from. You know what I mean? And I'm very glad that you definitely came through. Just to build this IFC.
Congratulations on everything. I heard you got a new clothing line coming out too, man.
We working. God is good. Like we talked about a lot of things, and when you're being young, you won't know till you grow. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't know what direction I was going in when I'm younger, but to be here right now is a very great feeling. To be understood by people like you is also a very great feeling. In order to lead, you got to be willing to learn.
Yes, sir.
In order to teach, you got to be willing to be taught. You know what I mean? And that's who I am. It's always been that for me. You know what I mean? And it's hard to talk to a lot of people in that capacity because I don't think they would understand what certain people's missions are and shit like that. So when I get to people that I think are on a mission like I am, you know what I mean? Does this feel good to have a great conversation and shit like that? I mean, and I need to be around more people like yourself as it helps me out.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It does something to me. Like I love to learn or take something from someone, and I appreciate that every time I see you.
I appreciate you having me here, man.
You know what I mean?
I think you're an interesting figure. I grew up listening to you. You understand me? Diary of the Summer. You feel me? So when I first met you, you always embrace the youth, number one. You understand me? And you got a level of curiosity about things. You're always learning, whether it's technology, whether it's the game. I remember what you was doing with the music back in the day. You was allowing people to be in the virtual studio with you. That was ahead of its time. You understand me? Like, I believe that's still gonna be the future with those type of experiences. You was always experimenting, getting better, right? Most people don't challenge themselves for growth. People can say what they want about Jim Jones, but he's getting better. You understand me? And there's always this level of challenge, which is manhood, right? I grew up in Oakland and St. Louis, so I've wore the different hats and I understand different individuals from all different walks of life. I moved with the Muslims. I moved with the guys from the streets. You feel me? I done moved in all of the different circles. So when most people don't have enough complexity and experiences to understand people that's different from them. You feel me? But when I think about a person, I think about, what are they thinking? What's their perspective? What's their point of view, right? So I may see certain moves and I understand it from your perspective of where you at. Then I give grace because at the end of the day, you can't force nobody into your perspective until they ready to share, to take it. You feel me? But you never know. If you keep planting the seeds, they may grow. You feel me? And I know that there's a lot of young men who look up to you and they decide to go into the hustle. They decide to go into music. They decided to not be out there wilding on the block because they say, you know what? You understand me? I think it's another way. There's an opportunity for me. But no opportunities, you go crash out. So I think that a lot of people may be like, they don't understand or agree with you on certain things, but are they willing to replace you for what you do for others? Right? And I think that matters because for the people that you looking out for, there's no replacement. Right? And so the people that may want to condemn or counsel, they're not willing to step in. And so we sometimes don't have enough empathy and insight to think about it in that empathetic way. So it might be somebody that don't like me, but you would never be a replacement for what I do for others, right? So now, because you don't like me, you're willing to get rid of that example. You know what I mean? Get rid of that light in somebody's life. And I think that that's weak.
That's cold. That's cold. I appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Artist to Artist, another episode, 19 Keys. Had a great time. What's the album? Name of the album?
We the Gods.
We the Gods out right now. Oh, you might have to get this. So go to his website and he'll show you how to get one. But I got mine. Y'all pick yours up right now. Artist to Artist, ladies and gentlemen. See you on the next episode.
Peace.